As it is, chapter 16, text 22. Yeah. Oh, 23, yes. 23. 16:23. Yaha Shastra Vidim Utsvidya Shastra Vidhi Ustrija Vatate Kamakarata Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Nasukam Naparam Gatim Ya Shastra Vidhi Ustrija Vatate Kamakarata Na Sasiddhim Avapnoti Nasukam Naparam Gatim Yashastra Vidhi Ustrija Vatate Kamakarata Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Nasukam Naparam Gatim What was Yaha? Anyone who Shastra Vidim, the regulations of scriptures, Australia, giving up. Vatate remains. Kamakarata, acting whimsically in lust. Na, never. Saha, he. Siddhim, perfection. Avapnoti, achieves. Na, never. Sukam, happiness. Na, never. Param, the spring. Gatim, perfection. Perfection states. Our translation and proper by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Ki. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. Papa. As described before, Shastra Siddhi, or the direction of the Shastra, is given to the different castes and orders of human society. Everyone is expected to follow these rules and regulations. If one does not follow them and acts whimsically according to his lust, greed, and desire, then he will be perfect in his life. In other words, a man may theoretically know all these things, but if he does not apply them in his own life, then he is to be known as the Lord of mankind. In the human form of life, a living entity is expected to be sane and to follow the regulations given for elevating his life to the highest platform. But if he does not follow them, then he degrades himself. But even if he follows the rules and regulations and moral principles and ultimately does not come to the stage of understanding the supreme law, then all his knowledge becomes spoiled. And even if he accepts the existence of God, if he does not engage himself in the service of the Lord, his attempts are spoiled. Therefore, one should gradually rise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. It is then and there that he can attain the highest perfectional stage, not otherwise. The word karma, karata, is very significant. A person who knowingly violates the rules acts in lust. He knows that this is forbidden, but he acts. This is called acting whimsically. He knows that this should be done, but he still does not do it. Therefore, he is called whimsical. Such persons are destined to be condemned by the Supreme Lord. Such persons cannot have the perfection which is meant for the human life. The human life is specially meant for purifying one's existence. And one who does not follow the rules and regulations cannot purify himself, nor can he attain the state of happiness. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jnana Salakaya Sakshu Umilitamena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karanam Tidanti Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauraparinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. So Krishna is still, instructing Arjuna on how to act as a human being, especially what we call civilized human being or somebody who has knowledge. He's trying to explain to Arjuna that anyone who does not follow or who knows what to follow and does not follow it, he acts in a whimsical way. So we find out that in present times, we do act so much whimsically. We kind of translate or interpret, mostly it's interpretation, poor interpretation of the scriptures. We interpret scriptures or religions so as to suit our own ways of life, or to suit our own selves, suit our own senses. And this is called, what is called whimsical, actions or acting or, thinking. So we see the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we have 4 regulative principles that we are strictly, have to follow: no meat eating, no gambling, illicit sex, and no tea, coffee, and all these things. So basically these are the rules that are laid down by the scriptures and the spiritual master and the gurus. So if supposedly we don't act according to these rules and regulations, then we are acting in a whimsical way, trying to act according to our own desires, according to our own whims, and then this is how we get attracted to the lasting desires, and then we forget about our constitutional position or our duties as servants. Serving is a very sure thing. We have to serve. Something has to have something. So if we are not going to serve the Supreme Personality of God, the Sri Krishna, then basically we are going to serve our own whims, our own desires. And that is how we degrade ourselves. It is said that this human form of life is the perfect form of life that can take us back to God, that can, give us that opportunity to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Because, we have heard so many times, even, the demigods, they also desire to come to this earthly planet to attain this godly, form of human beings so that they can engage themselves in Krishna consciousness or in the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, we'll be acting like saying here, whimsically. And if we act whimsically, there is a word that mostly used like kripana. We become miser. So becoming miser is, Scripture says, it's not becoming miser to other people. You can also become miser to yourself. And if you become miser to yourself, then it's such an abominable situation. So it's better for us to engage, not at least, but engage ourselves in activities that are elevating our, human form of life or our consciousness, so that at least we can go beyond birth, death, old age, and disease. Because these are the only things that we have surrounded with. Though we have you're given, you get a birth, you get diseases, old age comes, and by the time death is here. So it's a perfect example that we should not waste our time in doing so many other activities that are irrelevant. Irrelevant means anything that we do according to the scriptural injunctions. The scriptures does not tell us, to lazy around. The scriptures actually encourage us to maintain our body, to act, but act according to the rules and act according to the scriptures, act according to the way, the desire of the Supreme Personality of God. We see here Arjuna. He was a very good devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he did not desire to fight, as we have seen in the scriptures. He was very much afraid of, getting involved in this ghastly war, whereby he was going to kill his, grandson, his spiritual master, his cousins and brothers, his friends, everybody, on the other side, related to issue that just went bad. And as such, he was afraid. He was like, giving up on the war. But Sri Krishna instructed him to fight so that he can, be glorified. Krishna told him all these people you see, they are already dead. I just want you to execute your devotions, execute your duty as a Kshatriya, because even if you don't, because Arjuna was trying to, run away from the battlefield to, got a lot of excuses that he was trying to give, Krishna, and then Krishna, told him, no, whatever you are talking is, it's not proper. But you, being a Kshatriya, if, you fail to perform your duty, then you look like a coward, and, people will look down against you. So, the issue is, we should not fail to do our duties, but we should do our duties according to our scriptures. We should always put Krishna in the center of our life, and then only can we, purify ourselves. So the process we say it's simple. Basically, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is one of the first steps in engaging ourselves in devotional service for the sake of purification, sake of trying to elevate our consciousness. So, engaging ourselves in chanting of the holy names of the Lord, which are not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then performing other activities like, attending, lectures, classes, hearing from, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, he said he lives in his books, taking darshan of the deities, and, offering whatever little service you can offer. It's said that nothing that you do in Krishna consciousness goes to waste. Every effort, every little activity that is engaged, or that you engage yourself in devotional service is accounted for. Not like, other activities that you do outside there. They say whatever you do that is not related to Krishna consciousness, the sun eats all those activities, and you are, you have zeal, you have nail, at the end of your life. So, there are all sorts of other activities, like, Prabhupada is mentioning here in his purport, that there are a lot of Kamakandiya activities that are, given in the scriptures. This is just to maintain our, sanity, so that, we don't act like animals as such. So these fruitive activities, we have, different, types of worshiping. We worship, different demigods for, different desires. We want to be elevated to the heavenly planets. And, most people, we always think that the heavenly planet is all in all, that, we should strive so much to go to the heavenly planets. But as the scripture says, the heavenly planet is only, a place for, a paradise. You live there happily, there is no diseases. But ultimately there is death. Still you have to come back again to this material world. And then again, the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease again continues. So the best option that we have is only to engage ourselves in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we can at least go back home to the spiritual world. And those who act foolishly, also they end up in the hellish planets, whereby they also endure so much punishment, pain for their ignorance of, fulfilling or not acting according to the scriptural injunctions. In chapter 9, it's stated, 9:28 states that. Here Krishna says, In this way, you'll be freed from bondage of work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me, this principle of renunciation will be liberated. You will be liberated and come to me. This is according to our karma. If we act, in Krishna consciousness, it's a matter of engaging ourselves in devotional service, renouncing activities that are not, worth, following or worth doing. Like I said, Prabhupada in some other places, it said, like, grihastas who are, so much engaged in devotional service, they are more of renouncers. They're even, better than sannyasis actually, because they work so hard, they offer their offerings to the Supreme Personality of God. They help, maintaining the preaching, whatever they do in Krishna consciousness. So we see that these divisions of society and the ashram have to be followed in a proper way. So there is no way we can, like Prabhupada is mentioning, act whimsically. We should not act whimsically. The instructions are there in the scriptures and we just have to follow them. So we should know that our actions, good action will lead us to heavenly planets. Bad actions will lead us to either to the lower species of human form of life or to the hellish planets. And activities that engage us in devotional service will free us, will liberate us from the bad, death, old age, and disease. So we don't have any other option as such, apart from engaging ourselves in service of the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna. Though, we have so many religions that, try to divert our minds. Either it's some, funny religion or some, desires that we want to, accomplish in this material world so that we can, feel happy or whatever. Or we should, decide, to go back home, back to God. So that is it. So if there is any questions. Hare Krishna. Baba Gita ki. Gopinath Prabhu ki. Gopinath is dead, my friend.